Hello. Happy Wednesday. Happy June of 2020. It's good to be back. So we missed spending time with you guys the last 10 days or so. And we decided to go live to give you a little bit of an update and to wrap up the May contest. So as many of you know, right at the end of the month, last month, we had a bit of a family issue. We had our last Wednesday live. I think it was around the 27th of May, and then the 28th was our 22nd anniversary, and we celebrated our anniversary, and this actually carried over to the 29th. We did something pretty cool. We got on video. We did an at-home melting pot celebration using fondue set that we got from ordered it on Amazon. I think it's a Cuisinart. So we're going to do a video on that at some point. So we've recorded all the footage. And the 30th, which was Saturday, we had a planned ride where we were riding motorcycles that day. And we're going to get into basically everything that happened. But that's when everything happened with the family issue that kind of kept us away. But the purpose of this this live session is really to give an update on everybody that won and participated in the May games. So I see one of the participants joining right now, B&D Crafts. Hey, Brian, how's it going? And we're going to basically talk about the winners, and they're going to win gift cards for their first, second, and third place prizes. And they're also going to select a charity partner to share some funds with, some money with. So last month in May, we had $25 for the first prize, $10 for second prize, and $5 for third prize. But every one of those will be able to donate was 10% of what our total watch hours were, which they were 710 hours last month. So that'll be $71 will go to each selected charity from our winners. And we'll get into announcing our winners here in just a moment. First of all, I wanted to thank everybody for the emails, the texts, the messages, the thoughts and prayers on what we were going through. And we were quiet about it intentionally. I'll explain why. So last Saturday, we were on our motorcycle ride, and I received a phone call, and basically it was from a family member that I see. Hold on, just saying, artist on the road. It's actually my office. So our office is in the eave, so it's sloped, and the window is right next to me. Normally I'll be sitting over there, but the window's putting off a lot of light, so I'm over here in the corner. It's not a closet. It's just a small office in the upstairs of our old 1940s house that's got kind of the eaves in it. So that's what we use for our office. So anyway, we got a call from a family member saying they needed help with their car. It didn't sound quite right to me. They seemed a little disoriented. This person had a substance abuse problem for about a decade, a little over a decade, on and off, alcohol pretty much most of the time, and then other substances throughout that time. They had been doing pretty good for the last year, and it was kind of a little bit caught by surprise, but not really, because we had seen some signs recently that made us wonder. So I went down to help with the car, and when I got there, clearly there was a substance at play here. There was some psychosis, and it was just a bad situation. I could tell the person had really slipped and had a complete relapse, and found out they lost their job recently because they didn't show up, and they were going to lose the place where they're living because of the condition of being able to live there with another family member due to only if they stayed clean, and they lost it. So person lost their job, they're going to lose their place to live. And so basically I went into how can we help this person, and I looked into interventions. So that was the next step. So they had tried to fix it on themselves for many years, hadn't had success. So I talked to the family, and we decided we were going to do an intervention. So all week, last week, we were in that mode of preparing for an intervention, which was to take place on Saturday, and the full preparation session would take place on Friday. So that's why we didn't announce it, because we didn't want the surprise element to ruin the success of an intervention program. And obviously, anybody that's watching, I would welcome any stories, specifically happy ones, hopefully, of how interventions turned out for you, how maybe if you have anybody that has substance abuse in your family, how they beat it, would be great to hear. So anyway, I took the week off of work. It was pretty emotional. It's pretty distracted. So I disconnected from all social media as well. I didn't attend any lives. We didn't do any lives. I quit doing any of the videos. And so we did the intervention. It was unsuccessful. So the person chose to not seek help. They moved out of the family member's house they were in, and says they can do it on themselves. And they moved in with somebody else. And so the family's pretty much cut off communication, and obviously all enablement, no money, no place to live or anything like that, to try to hope that this person will reconsider and go to rehab treatment. So we had a pretty good place picked out, and hopefully they will come back around, but they haven't now. So we're moving on. It took us a few days to get past that last Saturday, where I'm in a place where I could update everybody on what was going on. Appreciate your patience. We normally are really, really transparent, and we're trying to be here without really getting into too much detail. I don't want to derail a person or anything like that at this point. So that's really what I want to say about that aspect. Again, very thankful for all of your concern. We appreciate it. Care in our destinations. Thanks, guys. We appreciate your prayers. That's really all you can do at this point. Drug addiction and substance abuse is just very difficult to deal with. And, in this case, it was very difficult for all the family members, because the choice was the family's not important enough. They're going to not go to treatment, not get help, have a place to live, have a place to, basically be fed and cared for 90 days while they get the treatment they need. And then even passing on over to a sobriety program and helping them get a job. I mean, it was a really good program, and they chose to move with a friend instead. And so it's difficult, but maybe in the next week or two, they'll change their mind and decide to go. So we're hoping for that. So if you guys can pray for that and hope for that, that would be great. It's just difficult because you can't, the way it works is you can't really check. You're not supposed to check on them. You're not supposed to have a really relationship with them to enable them in any way. It's not just money, but it's even just that connection of knowing that you're there. Interventions tend to work best if you sever ties, which is very hard, and I'm not sure the time frame that we'll be able to do that. But everybody's holding together, doing it right now. I see artist on the road. Ex's son, similar issues. We ended up getting him into the program that sent him to rehab in California. That was about 5 years ago. He's married now and just had a baby. That's wonderful. That's wonderful news. So we're hoping for something similar to occur here, but we're fairly early in the intervention process. The hope was he would accept intervention that day, but again, it didn't happen. So okay, that's that. So now let's talk about the contest and the winners of the contest. So we had a great time playing in May, especially with all of the lockdowns and stuff like that, attending the lives, hosting the lives, doing the contests, doing some of the interviews was really enjoyable, and it helped us get through some of the craziness of 2020 so far. So let's announce some of the winners of last month. We are going to start with first place here. Let me put the first place winner up on the board. Our first place winner is Sue, Lucky Dog Productions. So Sue, who actually won second place the previous month, or maybe it was first place the month before that, I'm losing track. But she was basically a regular attender from the very first month in March when we started doing these competitions. Hey, Bob, how's it going? Bob's Adventure, thanks for jumping in. And everybody say congratulations to Sue. I haven't seen her here yet today, but she was pretty much in almost all of the sessions from March all the way through the end of May. She ended up sneaking out Artist on the Road Gypsy towards the end of May and came in first place. So she's going to get a $25 gift card, and $71 will be donated to her charity of choice. We'll go over those charities here in just a little bit. So let's talk about second place. So you probably already know second place is Artist on the Road, Gypsy. Gypsy won last month, and she came in second this month. So she will get a $10 gift card, and then also will be able to donate $71 to her charity of choice from our webpage, some of our charity partners. And then third place is somebody who joined during May, but once they joined, they were hooked. So we did an interview with Brian at B&D Crafts, and he attended pretty much every session, and he came in third place. So Brian will get a $5 gift card. In addition to, I think he's got a $10 gift card that I still owe him. I didn't get sent out because of all the craziness. So he's got that, and then he will also get to pick a charity from our website to give $71 to. So that's the winners. Congratulations to everybody. We don't have anything planned for live games in the foreseeable future. We're getting ready to hit the road with our 5 grandkids on our trip, and we'll do some lives then. We'll talk a little bit more about that. But before we jump to that, I'll say hi to Bob and Tam's Excellent Adventure. Thanks for coming in, guys. I'm going to share my screen and talk about the charities that you have an option on selecting. So you can, if you're here in the call, you can just tell me which charity you want me to donate to, and that's what we'll do. If you are not on the call, but you watch this after the recording and you pick a charity, you can just email that to me or message me in some way. You can email me at contactus@pauseeffect.com. I'll put that email in here as well. Hey, Charlie Grace at Forever Best Friend. I think Forever Best Friend is live later tonight. I think I saw usually Thursdays, but you moved the Yappy Hour to tonight, 7 p.m. Central Time. Is that correct? I think. And there's the email address to email us if Sue joins later and she needs to send us an email on which charity she wants to choose. So let me go ahead and share that screen so we can talk about the different charities. There we go. All right. So on our webpage, we have a few charities listed. We have them listed as Pause Friends. We've got a few options. We've got the option of donor to donor. So donor to donor is an organization that matches kidney donors with people that need to receive kidney. And so why this is important is if you have a loved one that is in need of a kidney and you want to donate your kidney and you're not a match, then you can contact this organization and say, hey, I am willing to donate my kidney, but I'm not a match for my donor, my recipient. And what they'll do is they'll find somebody who is a match for your recipient, and then you'll basically trade kidneys. And so it's a pretty cool program that if you're not a match, you can still give up your kidney to basically save this person's life. So kidney donation is something that, obviously it's a personal thing, but we do have 2 kidneys and you can live perfectly fine with just one. There's an organization also called Share Your Spare. And those of you that may know why this is on our website, it's because my wife donated her kidney to her cousin 2 years ago, almost 3 years ago, to be 3 years ago, I think. Wait a second. It was 2018 in July. So 2 years ago in July, I guess it will be 2 years. And so if you're interested in that organization, let me know. We also have some pet organizations. So we have Forever Friends, which is a Great Dane rescue. That's where we got our Priscilla from. They're here in St. Louis. If you'd like to donate to them, they're a great organization. We've got friends over there, and we've fostered for this organization and fostered some Great Danes from there. We've also adopted from them. So they're a great organization. And then we have a deaf dog. Priscilla, who we adopted from Forever Friends, is deaf. So we also support Deaf Dogs Rock. So that's another one that the winners for second and third place can determine if that's the charity they would like to choose. And we've got another non-pet focused charity that's really a great charity for this moment, the Honor Network. So the Honor Network's mission is to honor those service members in the military, police officers, firefighters that have lost their lives serving us. And pretty crazy, I don't even know crazy, pretty sad times right now with some of the attacks on innocent police officers. These police officers that are dying at the hands of rioters, looters, lawless people that are basically participating in the guise of these protests, um, had no idea if those police officers did anything wrong, and they didn't deserve death just because. So this is a good organization that's going to help support some of those families. Hopefully, the trend won't continue of some of the death that we're seeing in our service organizations. Okay, so that's the ones that are on our website. Now, we also have some podcasts that we've done with a few organizations, and we're willing to also include those as featured charities. So one is Save the Manatees. This is an organization out of Florida that was started by Jimmy Buffett. And if you're interested in saving an animal, but not a dog or a cat, then this would be a good organization. We also have a dog and cat focused organization called Forgotten Tales Rescue that was started by a mother and daughter. And then we've got Husky Haven of Florida. This is a wonderful organization down in Florida that saves huskies. So those are really the options. We have those 4 from our webpage and then the 3 from here. So if you guys can let me know, Artist on the Road, B&D Crafts, and Lucky Dog Sue, if you guys can either email me or let me know who you want to support. I see Artist on the Road says the Deaf Dogs organization. That's wonderful. We'll get that done. And I see RV Adventure Couple. Hey guys, thanks for coming in. We were just wrapping up our contest for May. And so with that, I appreciate everybody attending those contests. We may have some more in the future, but right now we're getting into vacation mode with our family. It's going to start this Sunday. We're going to be leaving. So last thing I'll say on charities and our podcasts, consider supporting those charities. And if you know some charities that you would like us to consider doing a podcast or an interview on a live session, you can email them to us as well. So we really look for the smaller charities that we can build a relationship with that don't necessarily get the awareness that some of the larger, more charities that you may be aware of. So we're trying to help kind of the small guys by paying it forward. So consider listening to their podcasts, donating to them, and also just helping us promote them because they are all fantastic charities. And in most cases, the people that work and founded with these charities are taking zero. They're taking nothing. Everything that they do is voluntary, and it goes right into their programs. All right, so I don't have a big plan for the rest of the live, but if anybody would like to come on and chat, I'm happy to have a chat with you. So I'll actually put a link. If anybody comes in, we'll have a chat. If not, I'll just give you some updates on some things that are going on. Let me put that link in the chat. If you'd like to come in and have a conversation, ask us any questions, have dialogue about maybe future contest ideas, or if you have some ideas about what we might want to see along our route on our vacation. We're going to be gone for 6 weeks with our grandkids. We've kind of got our route planned out, but we can always adjust if there's something cool to see along the way. Let's see here. Update on family issue. Okay, let's talk about video releases. So you probably saw that because of that interruption, we didn't get our 2 videos per week out. And I have not even got back into recording, or not recording. I haven't got back into editing. I've got content all the way from mid-March, which was where our last video that we produced for Daytona Bike Week. We've still probably got 4 or 5 videos from that time during those Daytona weekends. And then we've got a bunch of videos of motorcycle rides and other things while we've been back at home. And then we're going to be going on this vacation. So we're still about, let's see, mid-March, we're 3 months behind. Again, we got down to about 2 months behind and now falling a little bit further behind. So I'm not sure if I'm going to continue to put out all of those videos right now, or whether I'm going to transition and try to start kind of fresh and do some lives while we're going on this trip, and then also start those videos so that we will be putting out videos within a week or 2 of actually recording the videos. That way it's a little bit more timely. So I'm thinking that's probably what we're going to do, and then we will start, as I get time, go back and fill some of these others in. So we might have a little bit of a break in the chronological order of our videos. As far as live sessions coming up, we are not planning or scheduling any lives right now. We will be leaving on Sunday. Saturday is my birthday. So most likely, sometime Saturday, we will do a quick live to kind of kick off the family vacation. So I'll have the grandkids there. We'll be celebrating my birthday. We'll do a live to kind of invite you to follow along and travel with us for this entire vacation. And then as we're driving, as we're stopping at places, we will do smaller impromptu lives along the way. So you expect multiple lives per day, possibly. And with 5 grandkids and 3 dogs traveling across the country in our Class A, the route we're going to take is from Missouri south, Route 66, basically, down through Oklahoma into Texas, across Texas to New Mexico, across New Mexico to Arizona. We're going to spend a few days, actually stop for a few days in the um, Grand Canyon, Bryce Canyon area. And then we will continue on up to the Pacific Northwest, stopping at Chris's basically dad's place. It's a cabin on the Washougal River, and we're going to spend a couple weeks there. Then we'll probably spend a little bit of time at Lake, I think it's Lake Merwin, with great grandma on Chris's side. And we'll do some stuff on the coast and spend about pretty much 3.5, 4 weeks out there before we head back. And we don't have our pathway on the way back planned yet. So if you have anything that you want to see along those ways, we've got a list of a bunch of places we're stopping. But anything along Route 66 or up the, I think it's I-15 corridor from the Grand Canyon up through Salt Lake and all that area, and then across Idaho, Utah, Idaho, into Oregon and Washington. That's the route we'll be taking. Okay, so let's talk about 2020. Anybody want to talk about any of these topics on 2020? I'm not in getting into a political aspect of it, but just how kind of unreal this year has been so far in some of the extreme issues, right? And so I'm not a news person, I'm not a media person, somewhat social media, and I've actually taken social media off my phone for now just because of the volatility that's going on. But this all really started at the end of February, going into March, with the pandemic and the news media highlighting the COVID tragedy or the COVID pandemic. And so that really started, and it affected us. We had to leave earlier from Florida. When it first came out, I was really suspicious. I didn't doubt that it wasn't a true thing. I just doubted whether the level of lockdowns and the hype of the media was accurate. I still have an opinion on that. It's hard to look at all the numbers. First of all, do you even trust the numbers that are telling us that's there? You know, can we even trust our sources? Because we've seen so many things about misreported deaths or misreported positives or unconfirmed ones being called positive and vice versa. I'm not sure we even have a valid set of data to make a really good determination on. But clearly, I know people that have suffered from it and died, not close to the family, but I know people on here that have lost family members. So clearly, it's a real deal, and it's nasty. But did it require everything that we did? Did it require to be slammed in the media like it did? And I think the aspect of kind of the two-facedness when we see where we're transitioning now, which is all of a sudden, however many days ago, I don't even know how many days ago it was, 5 to 7 days ago, maybe a little bit longer. I've kind of lost track of days when this police brutality thing. And I don't know really anybody that was defending that specific police officer or those police officers that were with him. I think the evidence that we had and that we saw, that was, to me personally, that was one of the only ones that I've seen, or one of the primary ones that I've seen, that was absolutely clear that something was awry there. So I wasn't in support of the police in this case, or that police officer, I should say. But the fact that it went into the protests, and the protests themselves, when they're peaceful, I have no issues with. but it's always the madness and violence and hate that goes along with the protests that end up killing more people, hurting more people for a cause that I haven't agreed with. And at that time that this broke out, they're still telling us to stay home. They're telling us to wear masks, to not gather. And the media jumps right off of COVID and the pandemic, and they jump right to this heavily into police brutality, defunding the police, and all that. And so, to me, I don't want to necessarily debate whether it's right or wrong. I'm just saying it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense how they can say, okay, it's okay to go mob in giant crowds and protest for this, but the media was slamming people for protesting against lockdowns and no fishing and that kind of stuff. So it just has been a really wacky year, and more so, especially when you start seeing some of the roadblocks that they're attacking people of all colors, of all thought beliefs. They don't know whether those people sitting in those cars are support their cause or against it, and they're damaging vehicles, beating up people, dragging them out of their cars. Um, I don't know if anybody's died in that type of scenario, but it's just a very sad scenario, and it caused us to start looking: should we even go on our trip? Do we need to take a look at the route to make sure we stay away from cities? It has us questioning where we live, because we live in the St. Louis city limits, and this is the third in 6 years. This is the third series of anti-police protests in St. Louis, getting closer and closer to our home. So we are rethinking just about everything because of how 2020 has turned out and some of the events of 2020. So we will be probably making some changes. I don't know if it's going to affect our plans for the remainder of the year, but we're talking about some decisions that are going to be fairly large decisions, big decisions that we'll be announcing probably over the next month or two. Once we truly finalize those, they're big changes. They're big changes that we're considering because of the way 2020's played out. And it's not that we're doing it out of fear. We're doing it out of comfort and living the lifestyle that we want to live. And so we'll talk a little bit more about that on a future announcement. So I hope the second half of 2020 is much more positive and joyful. So I see that Brian has chosen the Honor Network. That's great. They will appreciate that. We will get those out later today. And Brian, correct me if you will. I know that you won the giveaway, the sweepstakes, I think, but that was a $10 gift card that I owed you after the last session, that last Wednesday session. Do I also still owe you the, I think you also won an attendance prize, which was $10 too. So I'm just trying to confirm whether I'm $10 behind or $20 behind so that I can combine that with your $5 gift certificate from third place. So if you'll let me know that, I'll get that out as well by the end of the day today. And I apologize again for the delay. We planned on having that Sunday session. Just, when you go into family mode for a situation like that, that's where our focus was. All right, so let's get back to some of our sticker swaps we've been doing. We had received one from some of our friends, Brad and Diana. It's about time now. And we've already sent them our sticker as well. So they've got a great channel if you hadn't checked them out. And we also got one from our friends Jody and Chris at JC Journey. They are actually up in the Pacific Northwest where we're going to be going. So we probably could possibly cross their paths or get to see them while we're out there. We'll have to start thinking about that. And we are actually going to be gone for a while, so you're welcome to send us a sticker to our address. But we probably won't be able to return ours until we return. I'll put my address in the chat here. Has anybody else changed their plans because of the pandemic or what's going on right now with the protest and the police brutality? I don't know if that's caused people to change their plans, for one reason or another. That would be interested. So we are not changing our immediate plans for that 6-week trip beyond maybe checking the route and making sure we're not going through some of the routes that might be getting highways blocked and such to keep our grandkids and stuff out of harm. And we usually travel the back highways instead of the interstates as well. So we'll keep our eye on that, try to bypass most of the larger cities, the downtown areas of the larger cities. All right, let me see. Is there anything else we can talk about? I don't think so. We've done the winners. We talked about the issue, and again, thank you for your prayers. We have future plans and announcements, but we'll go more into those because I don't want to announce them now when we are early in the decision-making process. But there's a couple that I'm pretty sure that we're going to go forward, and they're fairly substantial. We're still going to keep, obviously, we're going to keep our RV. We're going to keep traveling, but there's some things we may be doing in the near future. They're going to change that up. They're pretty big announcements. And what we're going to do once we make that decision is announce it, and then you can follow along because the decisions, like I said, are fairly large. So they could be a whole series of videos that go along with that journey in itself. And it's kind of similar and tangent to full-time travel, but a little different. So, and I'll leave it at that. Hey, Bob, Blue Wave Odyssey, I saw you're going to have an impromptu live tonight. I'm going to try to join. We're preparing for this video. We're preparing for this trip. We've got to be out of our house day after tomorrow because we've got people coming in for Airbnb. And then our grandkids come up, more of our grandkids come up over the weekend. We've already got 2 of them here. And then we take off on a 6-week trip on Sunday. So we're getting all that prep on. But if I can join this evening to your live, I'll be there, even if I can't stay the whole time. Hey, Joy Route, thanks for coming in. Don't know what's going on. Safe travels. Well, there's a lot going on in the world today, of course, that we were talking about that. And we were also talking about a personal issue that we had with a family member that we did an intervention due to substance abuse. And that took us about 10 days out of being available and present on any of the YouTube lives or anything like that. And we quit doing videos. So just wanted to announce that because we kind of disappeared and people were wondering where we're at. But we're coming back in now. Slowly but surely, we'll be doing some lives while we're on the vacation, and starting with K&R Destination in about 30 minutes. I plan on being on some of those, saying hi to people and all of those types of things. So with that being said, I think that's everything that I wanted to cover today. Not quite as formal or fun as our previous ones, but I think it was needed to address the issue. And you're absolutely right. Substance abuse is very real. It's difficult because so many people judge it as just a choice, and in some regards there is a choice factor to it, but there's a lot more to that. And I've never been an addictive person. I've done quite a few substances in my life, but never got addicted to them. And so it hasn't been a problem for me, even with like cigarettes. That I never smoked cigarettes addictively, but I'd go to the bowling alley on one night, I'd smoke cigarettes, and the next day I wouldn't. I'd go on sales calls and I'd smoke cigarettes with somebody that was a decision maker that smoked. But then I'd go home and wouldn't think about it. So I've never been addicted. And years ago, I totally quit that. But just some people, they smoke 1 or 2 cigarettes and they're completely addicted, or they can't have a drink. So that's the situation. And this is great news. We'll be happy to say this. We're traveling again now too. Where are you guys off to, Bob? I haven't been able to follow along with what anybody's doing right now. I know there's a few people that got back out on the road. We are actually heading towards the West Coast. We're going south first and then up through Arizona and the Utah all the way to the Pacific Northwest. So I'm not sure where you guys are going. But if our paths cross, maybe we can have a coffee together. All right, folks, with that, I think we'll call it a day. And in about 25 minutes, I will see you on K&R Destination. And until the next time we're live, or the next time I see you on a live, thanks again for the prayers and thoughts. And take care. Be safe out there and be careful.